We got some breaking news on the Nintendo Switch 2, so let's just jump right in. Nintendo just announced that the Switch 2 has sold over 3.5 million units in its first 4 days after launch. Not only is this the fastest selling Nintendo console launch ever, this is also the fastest selling console launch, period. Now for some context, the Switch 1 sold about 1.5 million units in its first 7 days on the market, according to Christopher Dring. This was originally reported back in 2017. It sold about 2.74 million units in its first month. The Switch 2 sold 3.5 million units in 4 days. Let me break it down even further. The Switch 2 sold more in its first 4 days than the Switch 1 sold in its first 4 weeks. That's insane. Now, the PS5 was previously the fastest selling console launch ever before the Switch 2, and it sold about 2.3 million units in its first week. It's kind of difficult to find the exact number. From what I was able to gather, the PS5 shipped 3.4 million units in its first 4 weeks. Now, the keyword here is shipped. That's not the amount of sales, although it probably did sell like a lot. But the Switch 2 sold 3.5, not shipped, not units moved. 3.5 million units were sold in 4 days. Now, last month, Bloomberg reported that Nintendo had upped their projections and they now expect to ship over 20 million Switch 2 units in its fiscal year. That's 5 million more than the 15 million they estimated just a couple months ago at their fiscal earnings meeting. The reason Nintendo projected 15 million is that they were optimistic they would match the Switch 1's first year. Now, here's a fun fact. Nintendo initially estimated that the Switch 1 would sell about 14 million units in 2017. The final result was that they ended up selling like 17.8 million units in its fiscal year. So it still exceeded their own expectations. Despite all the odds, despite Trump's tariffs, all the rage bait online saying, we gotta boycott the Switch 2, everything. It still ended up selling 3.5 million. It still broke records. I've been playing it for the last few days. Love it. Mario Kart World is fantastic. Deltarune is amazing. Going back to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and seeing those at 60 FPS, crazy stuff. But let me know in the comments, did you expect the Switch 2 to sell this much? Are you surprised? Are you not surprised? Do you think that it can maintain this momentum as we go on in the rest of the year? Me personally, I feel like once you come out the gate swinging, it's just up from there. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and I'm gonna keep y'all posted.